All right, people, time for some sleepers. Today we will be looking at some quarterback sleepers in the upcoming draft, and I'll tell you right now, this is going to be a much shorter video than yesterday. There are not a whole lot of sleepers that I think make any sense for the Seahawks to even consider. I think part of the reason why that might be is because the guys who would normally be sleepers crept into the top 100 because this QB class is so trash. I honestly think guys like Matt Corral and Sam Howell may very well have been day 3 picks, if not for the fact that this class is so weak. So those guys sneak into the top 100. They may even sneak into the top 50. And you're left with some really forgettable guys in the actual sleeper range. I only really found 3 guys, but let's go through here. Let's say what we can say about them and see if the Seahawks should have any interest or not. So first name we're going to take a look at here is Bailey Zappe. And this guy's gotten some attention lately because he put up some crazy stats at Western Kentucky. His size is a little bit unusual. He's 6'1", so he's kind of short, but he's 220 pounds, so he's got some girth to him. A little bit of an unusual build type for a quarterback. He's got big hands, though, 9.8 inches. I love it. 4.8840, which is not good. Could be worse, but could be a lot better, too. But it's really this head-turning stat line, okay? In 2021, he had almost 6,000 passing yards, completed 69% of his passes, 8.7 yards per attempt, and 62 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. Now, you see players like this in college football sometimes. The guys who put up monster stats because of the system, because of the competition, and it doesn't mean anything. Some of the guys who set records for touchdown passes for schools and conferences and college football in general were never anything, and everybody knew they weren't going to be anything. But nevertheless, Bailey Zappe probably played well enough to at least get drafted. PFF actually thinks he's a round 3 pick, but Draft Network, ESPN, CBS think he's going to be 5th, maybe 6th round. And that's the area of the draft I think you will be looking at Bailey Zappe. So 5th or 6th round flyer. How can we talk ourselves into this? He makes good decisions. He's quick. He makes quick and good decisions. Gets the ball out fast. Knows how to read a defense and go through his progressions. He seems like he's got a high football IQ. Seems like he can do the stuff that you would want a NFL-level quarterback to be able to do, which is nice. He's got a nice arm. He's got good touch on throws. He's comfortable running an offense. He's not just a thrower. He's not just somebody who wants to make one read and then run. He's very good pre-snap. So, some exciting stuff here. But at the end of the day, he's short. His delivery has a hitch in it, kind of looping. Doesn't get the ball out as fast. He makes quick decisions, but once he makes the decision, the ball takes a little longer than you would like getting out of his hand. He has a good arm, but it's not a great arm. I don't know about him making really tight window throws. That doesn't seem like it's realistic to me. I don't see a lot of deep ball success from him. Overall, you wouldn't call him a very good athlete. He's a one-dimensional player, not a threat to take off and run. His accuracy, his accuracy is obviously pretty good, but occasionally it flares up on him. Now, you can say that about any player. Russell Wilson has been really accurate over his whole career, even at his worst, I think. But there are some times when the accuracy gets away from him, so I don't know if that's a knock against him. Could be better, though. I don't know if he fits into the NFL. I know I said that stuff about his football IQ and he's strong pre-snap, but at the same time, that offense in Western Kentucky was definitely manufactured for him to put up big stats, and you're not going to see that in the NFL necessarily. He's definitely a project. You're definitely not drafting Bailey Zappe to start day 1. You're definitely drafting him to start year 2 at best. And you're also probably resigning yourself to the fact that he may never start. So, 5th, 6th round, you can't go that wrong with it. But, I don't know, this kind of makes me think of like a Colt Brennan or a Ty Detmer or whatever his name was, guys like that. They put up big numbers, but they don't have what it takes to succeed in the NFL. So, not super excited on that one. Next guy is a guy who was actually getting first-round pick buzz 2 years ago, and then it never happened. Brock Purdy out of Iowa State. So, basically, average size. He's 6'1", 212 pounds. Decent hands, 9.3 inches. 40 time is okay, 4.84, not nothing special at all. If you take a look at his play over his college career, he had a good freshman year, 2,200 yards, 66% completion, 10 yards per attempt. Decent start to his career, ran for some yards as well, 300 plus. 2019, almost 4,000 passing yards, still good completion percentage. 3 touchdowns for every interception, still a running threat, 8 rushing touchdowns. Seemed like we were going places. And then the next 2 years, his yards fell off. His completion percentage stayed good, but his yards fell off heavy. His yards per attempt fell off heavy. His general efficiency went off a cliff, basically went down to a 2 touchdown for every 1 interception guy. He still remained a decent rushing threat, but he never manifested himself as a top-end quarterback, and because of that, the only site I could find that thinks Brock Purdy is draftable is Walter Football. They think he's a 4th to 6th round pick. Everywhere else thinks he's a UDFA. Maybe a high-end UDFA, but not a draftable guy. Now, Brock Purdy, pros are he has a lot of experience. He was a 4-year starter at Iowa State. He does know how to get the ball out of his hands quickly, so you like that in a Shane Waldron offense. He's an okay athlete. Obviously, he ran for well over 1,000 yards in his college career, so he has some ability to run. He seems smart. He's great at making throws over the middle, and that's something that we didn't really have before. So that's an area where a lot of quarterbacks just spam the ball all the time, and Wilson didn't. So I know you're not really looking at Purdy as a starter, but if you get him in UDFA and you want to develop him, then that has to be somewhat appealing because a lot of quarterbacks do that. The issue being he's not exactly tall. So not the greatest proposition to have a short guy throwing the ball over the middle all the time in the NFL. His arm is pretty lackluster. I don't see any kind of deep ball from him at all. Not a lot of zip on the ball. Ball kind of floats on him a little bit. Not going to be able to fit the ball into shoe boxes anytime soon in double coverage or anything like that. His delivery mechanics are actually forgettable. Like I said, he's another guy who takes a while to actually get the ball out of his hands. He doesn't go deep into his progressions. I know I said he has a high football IQ, but he is a guy who likes to make 1 read, maybe 2 reads, and then take off. And overall, I think you would just classify him as an inconsistent prospect. Sometimes he's really good, sometimes he's just way off, and you can't really be that as a quarterback. You need to be consistent as a high-level NFL quarterback. So, Brock Purdy, to me, you can't go that wrong as a UDFA, but maybe we already have the project in Jacob Eason. I don't know. But that's what I see from Brock Purdy. It's kind of interesting that a guy who was at one point getting future first-round pick buzz ends up probably going undrafted. But that seems to be where we are with Brock Purdy right now. Okay, final guy we're going to take a look in this video. The man, the myth, the legend, Cole Kelley. I want him. I want him. I want him. Just for the memes. I don't care if he never does anything. So this guy played at Southeast Louisiana for the last 2 years. He started his career, I think, for Arkansas and wasn't very good. 6'7", 270 pounds. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is that we found ourselves the new age Jared Lorenzen. He is a tight end, a big tight end, playing quarterback. Got big hands, 9.8 inches, ran a 5-second 40 time. I want to make him a Seahawk. I don't care if he never throws a pass in the NFL, but we have to make this happen somehow. 7th round pick, UDFA, whatever it takes, bring him to me. Let's get this done. I want a Tim Tebow goal line option, and I want the meme himself. So 2020, he played okay for Southeast Louisiana. Actually had a high completion percentage, not particularly inaccurate on the field, 69%, 2,600 yards, good yards per attempt, 18 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, not a turnover machine, little bit of action running, but mostly goal line stuff. 2021, 5,100 yards, 74% completion, so he was accurate. He made big plays, 9.3 yards per attempt. 44 touchdowns, 10 picks, almost 500 rushing yards, and 16 rushing touchdowns. Playing against joke competition, but you know what? I don't care. Bring me this man. ESPN and CBS see him as like a 7th round pick, 6th round pick. Walter Football actually thinks he could be a 4th round pick, but most places don't even have him ranked. I think when you're looking at Cole Kelly, you are looking at a guy you're going to need to use maybe your 7th round pick on. But sure, sign me up for that. I don't care if you drafted a quarterback earlier. Give me this man, this myth, this legend. So, obviously the guy is huge. 270 pounds. Have fun tackling him. Dual threat. Made plays with his feet and his arm in 2021. Got a quick release. Gets the ball out quickly. Nice arm. Can make the throws down the field. Can make all the throws. Most of the throws. He's great in the deep middle of the field. He's deadly in the red zone on runs. You got yourself another Cam Newton on the red zone runs if you get him. And that's kind of a joke, but it's also kind of not a joke. Now, there are obviously real problems with him. His body is very weirdly shaped. He's not really good reading defenses. He is somebody who will struggle with the more cerebral side of the game. His pocket presence, sometimes he panics too early. Sometimes he doesn't feel the pressure. Overall, I don't think he has a great deep ball. I think he's great in the deep middle. But in terms of like actually taking those shot plays down the sideline, he did plead guilty to a DUI a couple years ago, so there are some off-field concerns, and obviously he was playing against competition that was just terrible. So realistically, I think you're looking at Cole Kelly and you're saying he's probably just going to be a meme, but bring this meme to me. Let's make it happen. And that's really it for sleeper quarterbacks. None of these guys, I don't think any of these guys are going to be good. I don't think any of these guys are really going to be good for us. There might be 1 or 2 guys who get taken on day 3 at quarterback who end up being passable, but I don't really like the fit. Like Skylar Thompson, I don't like him as a fit in the Waldron offense at this point. I liked him at one point, but I don't like him now. And these 3 guys, look, if you get to the 7th round and they're there, there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't see the sleeper who's going to become something great in the future. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think of these 3 guys, but that's what I got. See ya.